Hi, welcome back to the channel and a brand new kind of leveling experiment in World of Warcraft. For years, new players have looked at WoW's spellbook and complex rotations and thought, where do I even begin? Well, with patch 11.1.7, Blizzard has introduced the JuanButton rotation helper, a game changer designed to simplify combat. But the big question is it actually good enough for a new player to jump in and enjoy leveling? Can you truly play WoW with just one button for your core combat? Well, that's exactly what we're here to find out. Meet our champion, JuanButton. Yes, a literal pun on one button, because that's essentially the only combat ability he's allowed to press for his primary damage rotation throughout this entire series. As a feral druid, Juan will be leveling from 10 all the way to 80. Our rules are strict, his main combat spell rotation must come from the JuanButton helper, and for talents, we'll be sticking exclusively to the recommended starter build, seeing how well this out-of-the-box setup performs. Now, for the sake of survival, utility and basic gameplay, we do have a few very specific exceptions that are not part of the core rotation. Juan is allowed to cast Mark of the Wild for its essential buff, use Barskin as a crucial defense cooldown, and yes, even his healing abilities to keep himself alive and push through tough spots. Of course, he'll also utilize Travel Form as his primary mount, along with his regular flying mount until he learns his flight form. These are vital tools for utility and self-preservation, not part of the main rotational attack. We'll be primarily questing through Azeroth, and to show just how easy it can be even with our unique setup, we'll also be using Zygor guides every step of the way. Zygor isn't just for leveling, they offer comprehensive guides for everything from gold making to mount hunting, achievements and so much more. If you want to streamline any aspect of your own WoW journey, you can find a link to Zygor in the description below. We'll also be dipping our toes into some Timewalking dungeons to see how Juan handles group content with his unique limitation. This series isn't about min-maxing or pushing top-tier DPS, it's about answering a fundamental question. Does the JuanButton rotation helper make World of Warcraft truly accessible and enjoyable for someone completely new to the game right from the start? Join Juan and me as we explore Azeroth, proving just how much you can achieve by keeping it simple. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to follow Juan's progress, and let's find out if JuanButton truly is all you need. Alright, with our rules set and Juan ready for action, it's time to dive into our leveling journey. But where do we begin in the vast world of Azeroth? As you may know, World of Warcraft offers something called Chromie time. This feature lets you pick a specific expansion and it scales all the content, the quests, the mobs, the dungeons, all to your current level. It's fantastic for experiencing a cohesive story and feeling powerful the entire way. And if you've ever asked veteran players or searched online for the fastest and most streamlined leveling experience, one expansion consistently comes up, Warlords of Draenor. It's known for its incredibly dense questing, efficient flow, and generous experience, making it a highly recommended choice for speed. So, for Juan's adventure, and to truly test how easy this can be for a fresh character, Warlords of Draenor it is. And just like that, we're here in Tanaan Jungle, picking up our very first quest in Draenor. Now, let's see Juan's JuanButton strategy in action right from the start. See how simple it is? Juan is already engaging his first enemy, and all I'm doing is pressing the single main combat key, and the JuanButton helper is automatically cycling through his feral druid abilities, perfectly managing the complexity all on its own. This is exactly what makes it so approachable for new players. They don't need to worry about memorizing rotations, they can just focus on the quest objectives, immersing themselves in the story and exploring the environment. And speaking of objectives, Zygor Guides is already proving incredibly helpful, pointing us directly to the next quest target. This integration really streamlines the questing process, allowing us to keep our eyes on the action, or, in Juan's case, one single button. Warlords of Draenor quests are pretty straightforward, often involving pulling a few mobs. Sometimes we encounter a tougher enemy or pull an extra one by mistake. That's where our allowed defensive and healing cooldowns come in. And if his health dips, a quick regrowth can top him right back up, showing how those utility and survival spells are truly essential for staying in the fight. So far, leveling in Draenor with the one-button helper feels incredibly smooth and efficient. We're picking up quest rewards, seeing our experience bar climb steadily, and starting to fill those bags with new gear and vendor trash. This is just the beginning of Juan's journey, but already the one-button method is showing promising results for simplicity and effectiveness. Let's see what challenges and triumphs await him next as we continue through Draenor. As we've continued Juan's journey throughout the sprawling landscapes of Draenor, I have to say I'm genuinely impressed with how accessible and intuitive this experience feels. Speaking from a personal perspective and having my own mobility considerations, playing with the one-button helper has been incredibly fluid and easy on the hands. It truly feels like it lowers the barrier to entry for many players, allowing you to immerse yourself in the world and the fun of questing rather than wrestling with complex keybinds. We've quickly progressed through the initial intro quests, pushing further into Frostfire Ridge. Juan has now reached level 20 and in the true Draenor fashion has successfully established his garrison. The one-button helper continues to perform admirably. Even when pulling groups of 3 or 4 mobs, Juan's feral abilities, automatically managed by the helper, cycle efficiently, putting out surprising damage and keeping him safe. With Zygo guides always showing us the optimal path and telling us exactly where to go, we're flying through quests and watching those experience bars climb rapidly, all without needing to memorize a complex string of keybinds or facing frustrating moments of missed rotations. This consistent performance reinforces our core question: for a brand new player, or indeed for anyone seeking a more relaxed and accessible way to experience World of Warcraft, the one-button helper, combined with Streamline Guide, feels like an incredibly powerful and viable solution. It genuinely simplifies the combat experience, allowing you to focus on the adventure. Now that Juan has proven his solo questing abilities, it's time for the next big test. We're going to try queuing for some Timewalking dungeons to see how this simplicity holds up in group content, all while continuing our questing in Draenor. Will his one button be enough for dungeons? Well, that's what we'll explore next. And that brings us to the end of our first major leveling expedition with Juan. We truly put our one-button strategy to the test. After establishing our garrison in Frostfire Ridge and continuing our questing, it was time for the ultimate challenge, our first foray into Timewalking dungeons. And I have to say, the results were incredibly impressive. We successfully queued for and completed 2 Timewalking dungeons, and Juan handled them with ease. Despite relying almost entirely on the one-button rotation helper, we consistently found ourselves around about the middle of the damage meter, contributing effectively to the group without any stress or over-complex rotations. This experience really drives home the core message of our experiment. For a new player, or indeed someone like myself looking for a more accessible way to engage with WoW's combat, the one-button rotation helper isn't just viable, it's genuinely effective and enjoyable. It removes the pressure of complex keybinds, allowing you to focus on mechanics, your environment, or simply having fun even in group content. So in this episode, Juan not only reached level 25, secured his very own garrison, and breezed through questing with the invaluable help of Zygo guides, but he proved his mettle in the chaotic environment of dungeons. All of this accomplished with just a few carefully chosen extra spells and that incredibly intuitive one-button system. Juan's journey to level 80 is now well and truly underway, and we're just getting started. In our next episode, we'll be continuing our questing adventures through Draenor, pushing further into new zones, and seeing how high Juan can climb on his accessible leveling adventure. If you're enjoying following Juan's progress and want to see more of his unique leveling series, please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're keen to streamline your own WoW journey, whether it's leveling, gold making, mount hunting, or anything else, don't forget to check out Zygo guides on the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.